for coming out to the Upper St. Clair Baldwin Highlanders volleyball game. This is a varsity match, so it is best of 5. The first 4 games go to 25, and the last one goes to 15. The matches are best of
Panthers.
2. And whoever wins that will move on to another section record. So sorry about the late start there. We couldn't figure out where to plug in the microphone, but we're all good now. So it is now currently 2-2, and Baldwin is serving. Joey DiGiorno with the pass assist. And huge swing from Baldwin right there. We got a touch on it, but just couldn't get it up. Baldwin serving again. And right into the net there, so the Panthers will get the point, and it is again tied at 3-3. Joey DiGiorno, the junior libero, will now be serving for the Panthers. And there is a double called, which is when the setter or whoever is setting has a double touch on the ball, because you can only have 1 touch on the ball per player. There's Joey again with the serve. Nice pass by Baldwin. And a slam right down by number 7 from Baldwin. He seems to be one of their big players. Baldwin with the serve. Nice pass by Bryce Cook. And a big block by Baldwin. That was number 7, who is Peter Wright. And another big attack by him. Panthers just need to get a hand on it there. And a nice set to Nolan Kondrick. However, it is hit out. The Panthers thought that there was a touch on it. However, the refs did not. So Baldwin will continue with the serve. Nice little touch over there by Eric Lehman. But quickly recovered, and a nice pass by Joey DiGiorno out of the back row. I think that there was maybe a net call on one of those, but the Panthers got the point anyway. So it all worked out in the end. Eric Lehman with the serve. And that one goes into the net. As Kevin McGahee would say, the serving gods giveth and they taketh away. Well, shout out to Kevin here because I can't make it tonight. I'm Leo Kern, by the way, and assisting me is Brady. And answered by a serve going out by Baldwin. That was once again number 7, Peter Wright. Nice serve by Nolan Kondrick. And hit out by Peter Wright. He seems to be getting most of the sets tonight. And Nolan Kondrick with another nice serve. Mike Urino with a nice little touch to the middle there, couldn't get picked up. Nolan Kondrick will continue his serving run. And a double there, or they're calling a lift, I think it might have been both, on the middle back for Baldwin. I think we might have been in the net. Yep, that's what they're calling. It's all right though. And the score is currently 9-8, Baldwin leading. Serve handled nicely by Nolan Kondrick out to Tanner Olizin. Passed up. And out of the back by Peter Wright. We just could not get a good dig on him, but I'm sure he'll be set again and we'll get another try at that. Seems like One of the antennas came loose. That seems to happen a lot on these nets. All right, so all fixed up there. Joey DiGiorno with a nice pass out of middle back. And Bryce Cook with his quick two, handled by Baldwin, coming over with a free ball. And Bryce Cook coming with a back one there, just could not get picked up by the Baldwin defense. Mike Urena, one of the middles with the serve. And that swing goes out of bounds. Cut a little too hard to the left. Mike Urena again with the serve. Handled nicely by Baldwin. And they called 4 touches on that, meaning that the ball never crossed over the net or touched a St. Clair player. Score is now 12-9 St. Clair. Serve into the net. Joey DiGiorno, the libero, comes back in. Baldwin with the serve. Pass by Joey DiGiorno to the back row by Nolan Kondrick, and just a tad bit out. It's only out by a couple inches. Bryce Cook back set and pass up by Baldwin. Getting a free ball to St. Clair. Now Bryce again with the big save there. Eric pushed it a little too far out. And Peter Wright once again with a very nice swing out of the back row. Nice pass by Joey, nice set by Eric, and a nice swing by Dan. It's a good, and Peter was a bit over the line there, but I just don't think anyone saw that except for me. And I think Fick, but it's like they'll keep the point and Baldwin with another serve. Nice little one-handed dig there. And that was out by number 9, Ben Remlinger. Bryce Cook with the serve. And that sailed just out of bounds. Panthers with a couple missed serves now. Hopefully they'll figure it out. And a serve by Baldwin that goes out, so one serve out and another one answered. Tanner Allison with the serve now. And that one goes just out by Baldwin. Score is now 15-14 over St. Clair. And free ball sent over by Peter Wright. Nice set by Eric Lehman, and a good swing by Nolan Kondrick. Tanner Allison back with the serve. And into the net. Baldwin's going to be making a few substitutions over here, and the libero comes out. Serve straight to Bryce Cook, and hit just out of bounds by Dan King. It was a nice attack, but seemed to be a bit under it. Another serve, handled nicely by Tanner, set up and into the block, but a nice save by Eric Lehman. They're calling a net violation on Baldwin, and the point will go to the Panthers. Joey DiGiorno, the libero, back to serve. Passed up, back to none other than Peter Wright, and blocked by the Panthers. Nice up by Bryce Cook, and just could not finish the play by the Panthers. But it was a nice thought. It was a good attempt. Score is currently 17s across the board, and Baldwin with the serve. That one sails out of bounds. There seems to be a lot more missed serves in this game than most. Hopefully both teams will figure that out by next round. And Eric Lehman with the serve out of bounds. Baldwin now serving. Nice jump serve, handled nicely by Nolan Kondrick. Sit back and just could not be picked up by Baldwin Highlanders. That was a very nice attack by Nolan and a very good set by Eric. Nolan Kondrick with the serve. And tipped over, but not handled by the Panthers. And Nolan Kondrick out of the back row. Nolan Kondrick with the serve. Score is currently 20-18. Back row. And handled by Tanner Alzen. That was a nice save. Tipped over. Joe DiGiorno with the set there to Nolan Kondrick. Nice pass. Coming back over is a free ball. And slightly overpassed by Mike Urena. Back row and just could not be stopped by the Panther block. Now serving Baldwin, libero to libero. Joey DiGiorno with a slight overpass. Out of the middle and hit out of bounds by number 14, Mike Goga. Well, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Going back to Bryce Cook. And out of bounds, it was outside of the antenna, therefore it is not in play or illegal. For those of you who are first-time watchers or just don't understand the game that well, Baldwin with the serve. Handled nicely by Nolan Kondrick, out to Tanner Alzen, blocked down by Baldwin. Nice set, and a nice swing by Bryce Cook. Score is currently 22-20. Bryce with the serve. Handled nicely by Baldwin, out of the middle, tipped over, recovered. A one-handed block by Eric Lehman. You don't see many of those, but he executed that nicely. Another serve by Bryce Cook, handled nicely by Baldwin. And he stepped over the line. This time they caught it, and that was Peter Wright, number 7. And whenever you're back row, for those of you that don't know, you cannot step over the line if you're a back row player in order to hit the ball or jump. That was a lift by Dan King, number 7. That was kind of a hard ball, though, to pick up. Score is currently 24-21, game point for the Panthers. Joey DiGiorno, slight overpass. Going back to Peter Wright, and a very nice hit by Peter Wright. Straight down to the Panther side. I'm going to go ahead and guess that they're going to set Peter Wright if the ball ever comes back over. Back row to Nolan Kondrick. And free ball by Baldwin. And Eric Lehman with the tip over, back to Bryce Cook. And another free ball by Baldwin. Hopefully the Panthers can make something out of this. Down to Tanner Alzen, passed nicely by Baldwin. And this is a very good rally going on. And dumped over by Eric Lehman for the game point, and the Panthers win at 25-22 first game. All right, we are back for game 2, and Baldwin is starting out with the serve. Passed nicely by Nolan Kondrick, tipped over by Nick Kondo. And a bit of looks like a little bit of confusion right there on the Panther side. Baldwin with the serve again. Up by Nolan Kondrick, nice set by Eric Lehman, and off the block by Tanner Allison for the first Panther point. The score is now 1-1. Bryce Cook will be starting off the Panthers, and that was just in. Pass to Peter right, and blocked down by the Panthers. Very nice block there by Eric Lehman and Nick Kondo. Bryce Cook again with the serve. Passed up by the libero, back to Peter Wright. Could have guessed that one. And down by Bryce Cook with a very nice hit. Bryce Cook again with the serve. To the libero, and back to Peter Wright again. Nice pass by Bryce Cook, and a bit of a misconnection there between Eric Lehman and Nick Kondo. Substitution for Baldwin. Baldwin with the serve, and into the net. Libero comes back in for Baldwin, and the Panthers have Tanner Allison serving. Nice serve by Tanner. And tipped over by Peter Wright. And very nicely handled by the Panthers. That was a good save there. And an attempt at a dump there by the Panthers, but just could not make it over. Now Baldwin with the serve. Nicely passed by Bryce Cook there. Tipped by Nick Kondo, but they're going to call a lift on that one. Number 9, Ben Remlinger with the serve for Baldwin. He is only a sophomore. And Nolan Kondrick straight into the block and down. Once again, Ben Remlinger with the serve. Pass out and into the block, but straight down on Baldwin's side by Nolan Kondrick. A very nice play there. Joey DiGiorno, the libero, with the serve. And they're calling Baldwin on out of rotation, saying, I believe that number 10 has to be on the other side of number 13. Joey again with the serve. And out to the outside for Baldwin. Nice set by Eric Lehman, and down by Bryce Cook. Highlanders attempted to handle that one, but just could not. Joey DiGiorno again with the serve. And an ace for Joey DiGiorno, the first one of the night, I believe. Unless I missed one, which I don't think I did. Joey again with the serve. Passed nicely by the Highlanders, back to Peter Wright, and out of bounds. And Joey with his second ace for the night. His good float serve. And a timeout called by Baldwin Highlanders. Score is currently 10-5, Upper St. Clair Panthers. All right, and so the score is currently 10-5, one timeout for Highlanders, and the Panthers are leading the game, 1-0. Back to Peter Wright. One-handed touch there by Bryce Cook, but Eric Lemon just could not get to it, a bit too far out of his reach. And Peter Wright back with the serve. Nice jump top spin by Peter Wright. And a free ball sent over by Joey DiGiorno. Back to the middle for Baldwin, blocked down by Mike Urena. And Peter Wright with a hit out of the back row. Set by Nolan Kondrick, free ball by Eric Lehman. And the setter for Baldwin, who is Dante Parenti, attempted a dump there, but he was just a bit too far away from the net. Dante is also a sophomore. Eric Lehman with the serve, back to the outside, and out of bounds by Baldwin. They're trying to call a touch on the ball by the Panthers, but the refs did not see it. Therefore, the point will go Panthers, and the score is now 12-6, Upper St. Clair. Passed up by Eric Lehman, set by Joe DiGiorno, into the block by Nolan Kondrick, and down to Mike Urena. A nice touch there by Baldwin. And Panthers are going to get another attempt at it. And Nolan Kondrick passed up, and Mike Urena with a bit of confusion at the net there. Happens to the best of us. Now substitution for Baldwin. Libero back to serve. Baldwin with the pass up to the middle. Pass by Tanner Olison, back to Bryce Cook on the outside. And they are calling 4 touches on the ball for the Panthers, saying that Baldwin did not touch it. But St. Clair apparently does not seem that that is the correct call. That's nicely by Joey DiGiorno. Tip over by Bryce Cook. Back to Peter Wright, even though he's stepped on the line again. All right, they called it there. And now it will be Nolan Kondrick with the Panther serve. Here goes Nolan. Pass up and tipped over, handled nicely by Eric Lehman. Set back to Nolan and just hit slightly out of bounds there. Point Baldwin, and the score is now 13-9. Baldwin with the serve. Handled by Baldwin's libero there, and another dump over by number 13, Dante Parenti. Hope I'm saying that one right as well. Point Baldwin, and here comes the serve. Nice pass by Tanner, and straight down by Mike Urena. It's a nice play by the Panthers. Joe DiGiorno out, and Mike Urena back to serve. Passed up by Baldwin, and a double on number 10, Koo Stewart. I hope I said that right as well. And into the net by Mike Urena. There's been significantly less missed serves this game, though, than last. Score is 15-11 Panthers. And a bit of confusion at the net there, did not make it over, and Panther point. Seems that 2 players went for the same ball, but neither could get it over. Bryce Cook with the serve. Nice pass by Baldwin libero, and back to Peter Wright. On the outside with a very nice swing. More substitutions for Baldwin. And number 8 comes back to serve. That is Jacob Reese. And passed up by Bryce Cook. Back row to Nolan Kondrick. And a nice little rally going on. Here goes Tanner, and blocked straight down by Peter Wright and Jeff Wallander for Baldwin. Baldwin again with the serve. Passed by Joey DiGiorno, and back to Bryce Cook. Set by back row, free ball Panthers. And tipped over by Nick Kondo, passed by Joe DiGiorno. And into the net by Nolan Kondrick, point Baldwin. The score is now 16-14 Panthers. Number 8, Jacob Reese, again with the serve. Pass by Joe DiGiorno, back to Bryce Cook. Nice pass, Baldwin. Outside, back to Joey. And a nice hit by Tanner, straight down. And the point is awarded to the Panthers. Tanner is now back to serve. Nice pass by the Highlanders, back to Peter Wright, and out of bounds. However, Highlanders do not think that is the case. Oh, just kidding. The point was awarded to the Highlanders, and the ball was in bounds. Score is now 17-15, Upper St. Clair. Nice pass to Nolan Kondrick, out of bounds by Nolan. Point Highlanders. Pass by Tanner Allison, tipped over by Nick Kondo. And they're going to be calling a lift on number 13, Dante Parenti. Joey DiGiorno back with the serve. Handled by Baldwin. Peter Wright, nice pass by Tanner Allison. Back to Bryce Cook with a nice swing out of the back row. Joey DiGiorno, the libero, once again back to serve. The score is 19-16, Upper St. Clair. Free ball coming over to the Panthers. Passed by Tanner Allison and hit by Mike Arena, but recovered by Baldwin and straight down by Peter Wright. Peter Wright once again back to serve with a jump top spin. Handled nicely by Joey DiGiorno and tipped over by Eric Lehman, handled by the Highlanders. Another free ball sent over to the Panthers and outside to Nolan Kondrick with a nice swing, getting a touch off of number 11 from Baldwin. Point Panthers. Eric Lehman, the setter, back with the serve. That was a nice attempt by Mike Arena. Peter Wright, finally behind the line, tipped it over, back row. Nolan Kondrick with the free ball. Back to Upper St. Clair middle, blocked down by Mike Arena. Back to Eric Lehman, set up by Joey, but a free ball was passed over by Nolan. To the outside and into the net, point Panthers. The score is now 21-17. Eric Lehman back with the serve. Passed nicely by the Highlanders. Back row to Peter Wright and blocked out of bounds by the Panthers. Baldwin's libero. Luke Schurz back to serve. Score is 21-18 Panthers. Panthers are leading 1-0. Nice setup to Bryce Cook. And set middle on Baldwin, touched by Mike Urena. Back set to Nolan. And a nice pass by Baldwin's libero. And another free ball to the Panthers. Into the net. And recovered nicely by Baldwin. And just out of bounds on that pass there, but a good effort all around. Nolan Kondrick back with the serve. Back row to Peter Wright, and straight down by Peter Wright. Number 10, Kustud, is back with the serve to Joey DiGiorno. Back by Mike Urena with a nice hit. Recovered by Baldwin and a free ball sent over to the Panthers. Bryce Cook with a nice attack, and Baldwin just could not get under that one. Score is now 23-19 Panthers. Joe DiGiorno out, and Mike Urena now back with the serve. Nice pass by Baldwin to the middle, and slicing attack by number 14, Mike Goga, another sophomore. A very young squad for the Highlanders. Baldwin back to serve, handled by Nolan Kondrick, out to Tanner Olesen, and passed into the net by Baldwin. Score is now 24-20, and Panthers with game point. Bryce Cook is back to serve. And a very nice attack by Peter Wright. Number 8, Jacob Reese, is subbing into the game to serve for number 14, Mike Goga. Game point, Panthers. Pass by Joey DiGiorno, free ball sent over by Nolan Kondrick. And straight down by Peter Wright. Serve goes back to the Highlanders. Nice pass by Joey DiGiorno, going to Nick Kondo there, and back to Nolan Kondrick. And back to Peter Wright, could have called that one. And Peter Wright with a nice tip down to the middle. Score is now 24-23 Panthers. Panthers game point. And Nick Kondo out of bounds. Point to the Highlanders. The score is now 24 across the board, win by 2. Nice pass by Nolan and tipped over by Eric. And overpass kill by Nick Kondo. Game point, Panthers. Free ball sent over to the Panthers, and outside to Nolan Kondrick, blocked straight down by Peter Wright. The score is now 25, still win by 2. Passed nicely by Joey DiGiorno. Out to Nolan Kondrick, and a very nice kill by Nolan straight down. Game point Panthers. Joey DiGiorno back to serve. Handled nicely by the Highlanders. And a very, very nice attack by Peter right there. However, he is moving to the back row, so hopefully the Panthers can gain some more momentum. And out of bounds. Out of bounds was the call. However, Baldwin thinks that there was a touch by Bryce Cook on that one. The call will stay with the Panthers, and Eric Lehman will go back to serve, 27-26. Eric Lehman into the net. Score is now 27s. The libero, Luke Schurz, is now back to serve for Baldwin. And pass out to Bryce Cook, touched by Baldwin, overpassed and recovered by the Panthers. That was a nice attempt there, but it just sailed right out of bounds. That was a very nice attempt, however. Score is now 28-27 Baldwin, and a timeout is called by Upper St. Clair Panthers. All right, we are back again, and the score is 28-27 Baldwin. The Panthers are leading 1-0. Serve over by Baldwin, handled by Tanner Allison, and outside the antenna by Bryce Cook. Therefore, Baldwin won 29-27, and the score is now 1-1. All right, so we are back with game number 3, and they called out of rotation on the Baldwin Highlanders. Therefore, the first point goes to the Upper St. Clair Panthers. The score is now 1-1 in games, and this is a best-of-5 match. So the winning team will have to win at least, or not at least, they'll have to win 3 games in order to win. Seems to be some confusion on the court. Brady, how do you think this game is going so far?
I think this game's going pretty well. You know, it's a tight match. You know, it's good competition. I think this next match will be good.
I would have to agree with that. If the Panthers can shut down number 7, Peter Wright, then I think we'll be able to take down this Highlanders team. Panthers also seem to have gathered a pretty decent student section for tonight. I'd clock it at about probably 17 people spread out throughout the gym, as well as parents. It's a very nice, well-rounded audience. All right, we are back with the Panther serve, and to the middle, and a very nice attack by Baldwin there, straight down. And the score is now 1-1. Number 10 for Baldwin is now serving. And there is a libero change for St. Clair. Robbie Mackey is now the libero. And Noah Kondrick hit it down into the net. Number 10, Koo Stewart, is back with the serve again. Robbie Mackey with the pass, and back to Bryce Cook. Nice pass by Baldwin to the outside, just tipped over. Free ball sent over by the Panthers. And back row to Peter Wright, but passed nicely by Bryce Cook. Baldwin with the middle attack, and another nice pass by Bryce Cook, sent over a free ball by the Panthers. Back row to Peter Wright again, and hit out of bounds. Score is now 2s across the board, and both teams have 1 game under their belt. Kevin Steve back to serve into the net. Kevin Steve is a sophomore for the Panthers and one of the key players on the junior varsity team. Baldwin back with the serve. Passed up by Bryce Cook. Back to Nick Kondo, and a net violation there. All right, they did call it, but it was also in bounds. Now substitution. Tame Azuki is coming in for Kevin Steve for the Panthers. Serve, Nick Kondo, and Robbie Mackey is out. Handled nicely by the Highlanders. Back to Peter Wright and out of bounds. Seemed to keep the ball a little bit behind him there. Nick Kondo back with the serve. Nice pass by the Highlanders. Back to Peter Wright. Peter Wright seems to be a lefty. Didn't catch that till right now. Down ball sent over by the Highlanders and to the middle. Dan King blocked down. A nice little rally going on here. Back row by Nick Kondo. It's out to the outside and blocked straight down by the Panthers. That would be number 7, Dan King, and number 11, Eric Lehman. Nick Kondo again back with the serve. And to the middle, and just could not be handled by the Panthers. Point Highlanders. The score is now 5-4 Panthers. Number 8, Jacob Reese back to serve. Passed nicely by Tame Mizuki and hit out of bounds by Nolan Kondrick. Baldwin again back with the serve. Pass up by Robbie Mackey, out to Nolan Kondrick, and blocked by the Highlanders. Panthers will get another attempt at it. And blocked straight down again by number 7, Peter Wright, and number 11, Jeff Wallander, the 2 seniors on the team. Or the 2 starting seniors on the team. And into the net by number 8 for Baldwin, and the libero comes back in. Eric Lehman, Upper St. Clair starting setter, is back with the serve. A little bit of confusion there and hit out of bounds by Bryce Cook. However, they do think that Baldwin touched the ball. And the point will stay with the Highlanders. Number 9 back to serve for Baldwin. That is Ben Remlinger. Nice pass by Robbie Mackey. A good set by Eric Lehman. A nice hit by Dan King. Back to Peter Wright and hit straight into the net by Peter Wright. No touch by the Panthers there. Substitution made for the Panthers. Kevin Steve will come in for Tame Mizuki. Noel Kondrick back with the serve. Panthers pass that one up to Dan King with a nice little tip over the blockers there in the middle. And the Panthers will get the point. The score is now 8-7. Nolan back with the serve again. Handled nicely by the Highlanders. Back to Peter Wright. And a free ball sent over by the Panthers. And back, of course, to Peter Wright. And straight down by Peter. That was a very nice play by the Highlanders. I know. And that was an ace by number 7, Peter Wright, for the Highlanders. Peter Wright again back with the serve. And into the net. Once again, as Kevin would say, the serving gods giveth, and they taketh away. Robbie Mackey, the libero, back with the serve. And that one was out of bounds by Robbie. The score is now 9-10, Baldwin leading. Substitution is made by Baldwin, and the libero is back to serve. Pass back to Bryce Cook. And a dump by the setter, Dante Parente. He's gotten a couple points with that dump, so hopefully the Panthers figure it out. Libero back to serve. And a nicely by Kevin, and a nice hit by Bryce Cook. Could not be returned by the Highlanders. Bryce is now back to serve. A nice pass there by Highlanders. Robbie Mackey with a good dig. And a double is called on Eric Lehman. Baldwin back to serve. Nice pass by Robbie Mackey to Nolan. Just kidding, that is Nick Kondo, and he had a very nice attack there. Point to the Panthers. I just noticed sitting up here that a lot of people on our team look very similar to each other. And to the outside of the Highlanders. Back to Bryce, into the net. Point Baldwin, and the score is now 13-11. Yes, Baldwin does seem to be stealing our chance, but that is all right. Baldwin back to serve. Nice pass by Tamazuki, out to Nolan, and blocked out of bounds by Baldwin. Dan King back in, and Nick Konda back to serve. Robbie Mackey, the libero, is now out. Nice pass by Baldwin to the right side and inbounds there. It's a nice shot, deep corner. Baldwin libero is now out. And number 8, Jacob Reese, is back to serve. Nice pass again by Tamazuki to Dan King, blocked down by the Panthers. And a nice attack by Nolan to the outside, blocked down, yet recovered by Baldwin. Nice pass by Tame, and a dump by Eric. And another free ball. Outside to Nolan, and blocked straight down by Peter Wright. Score is now 12-15, Baldwin. Score, I meant the serve, is now into the net, and point goes to the Panthers. Eric Lehman with a nice serve. And the set out to Nolan Kondrick into the block. And a set there by the libero, Robbie Mackey. Back to Peter Wright. And off of the Panther block. Point Baldwin. Baldwin back to serve. Nice up by Eric Lehman there. Coming over as a free ball to the Panthers. Nice pass by Tamazuki. Going to Dan King with a tip over. And a down ball sent over by Baldwin with some confusion there by Robbie Mackey and Tamazuki. resulting in Baldwin's point. Score is now 17-13 Baldwin. Panther timeout. All right, we are back, and Baldwin is starting out with the serve. Out to Bryce Cook. Passed slightly on the net, resulting in a net violation by Baldwin, and point goes to Panthers. Nolan Condrick with the serve. All right, back to Peter Wright, and a very nice attack down the line by Peter. Could not be picked up by the Panthers. Baldwin again back to serve. And that was a very nice serve by Baldwin, handled nicely by Robbie Mackey, and just out of bounds by Bryce Cook. Serving is Peter Wright. Looks like he got rid of his jump topspin and is now doing a standing float. A down ball into the net by Peter Wright. Point goes to the Panthers. Robbie Mackey back to serve. In the middle switched. Robbie Mackey into the net as well. And Baldwin's libero is back to serve. Score is now 20-15 Baldwin. Both teams have one game that they've won. Into the outside by Baldwin, and Bryce seems to have lost it in the light and could not recover that ball. Back again to serve is Baldwin's libero. Handled nicely by Robbie Mackey. Up to Nick Kondo and inbounds with a nice attack and kill. Point goes to the Panthers. The score is now 16-21 Baldwin. Bryce Cook back to serve. Nice pass by Baldwin into the middle, and there is no touch there by the Panthers. Almost hit into the net, resulting in a point for Upper St. Clair. Bryce again back to serve. Tipped over by Baldwin, and they're calling a lift on that one. Point again goes to the Panthers. And a timeout is called by the Baldwin Highlanders. Score is 18-21. All right, we are back. Bryce Cook with the serve. Handled by the Highlanders. Back to Peter Wright. And a nice recovery by the Panthers, sending over a free ball. Nice pass there by Bryce Cook. Nolan Condrick with the swing out of the back row, and Peter Wright. But again, handled and recovered nicely by the Panthers. Just tipped over there. And a free ball sent over by the Panthers. To the middle. And just touched out of bounds by Robbie Mackey. Score is now 22-18 Baldwin. Nice pass by Robbie Mackey. Out to Kevin Steve with his first kill of the night on the varsity court. Kevin back with the serve. And sent out of bounds by Kevin. Point Highlanders. Tamazuki subbing in for Kevin. Number 13 for Baldwin serving. To Nolan Condrick, and blocked out of bounds by the Highlanders. Point goes to the Panthers. Nick Kondo is now back to serve. Down to the middle with a nice attack by the Highlanders. That would be number 14, Mike Goga, a sophomore. And the score is now 24-20, Baldwin Highlanders, game point Baldwin. And a bit of a mishit there by Baldwin, and point Panthers. Again, game point Baldwin. And straight down by Peter Wright. And the game goes to Baldwin. The score is now 2-1, Baldwin. All right, so the Baldwin Highlanders started out to serve there, but into the net. And the first point was awarded to the Panthers. We are now in the fourth game of a fifth game set, with Baldwin leading 2-1. Into the net there by number 14. That is Mike Goga for the Highlanders. Another point awarded to the Panthers. And a nice pass and tipped down there by Peter Wright. Just could not be handled by the Panthers. It was a nice attempt. Baldwin's number 8, Jacob Reese, is back to serve. Passed nicely by Bryce Cook with a good set to Tanner Allison, and straight down by Tanner Allison. Could not be picked up there. Tanner is now subbing out with Tame Mizuki. Tame back with the serve. Nice serve by Tame there. Back to Peter Wright, and could not be picked up by Robbie Mackey. This is a good swing. Baldwin again, back with the serve. Out to Nolan Kondrick, blocked, but recovered by Dan King, and straight down by Nolan Kondrick. Score is now 4-2 Panthers. Robbie Mackey, the libero, back with the serve. And passed over a free ball by the Highlanders. Out to Michael Urena in the middle, blocked, but recovered by the Panthers. Free ball to the Highlanders. Down to Peter Wright. Nice pass by Tame Mizuki. Tipped over by Eric Lehman. And back to Peter Wright again. And the Panthers could not get under that one. Number 7, Peter Wright, back with the serve. And they're calling 4 touches on that. I don't know if there was 4 touches, but there very well could have been. Peter Wright again with the serve. And tipped over by Mike Urena, and a lift called there on number 11, Jeff Wallander. Eric Lehman back with the serve. And into the net by Eric. Point going to the Highlanders. Score is now 5-5. And Baldwin libero, number 1, Luke Schurz, back to serve. Nice pass by Tame Mizuki there, and into the net by Mike Urena. Therefore, they are calling 4 hits on the Panthers. Libero back again to serve. Pass up by Tame, back to Bryce Cook on the outside. And a nice set there to Peter Wright, which went straight through the block there. Point going to Baldwin. The score is now 7-5 Baldwin. Nice pass there by Robbie Mackey. And another attempt at a dump there by number 13, Dante Parenti. However, he was just a bit too far away from the net. Nolan Kondrick now back to serve. And out of the middle there, a bit of a roll shot. Back to Bryce Cook in the back. Oh, he's not in the back row, he's in the front row. And there was a bit of a misconnection there, and therefore Panthers receive the point. Nolan Kondrick again back with the serve, however, it is hit into the net. Islanders with a nice serve there, and Bryce Cook hitting it straight down. Point Panthers, the score is now 8-8. Mike Arena back with the serve, Robbie Mackey out. To the middle, a nice pass there, and back to Bryce Cook with a very nice hit cross court. Panthers seem to be getting a bit more momentum in this game. Hopefully they can pull it out. Mike Arena back to the serve. Handled nicely by Baldwin's libero to the outside and out of bounds. But Baldwin is calling a touch. However, the point is awarded to the Panthers, and it stays with the call of being out of bounds. Pass there back to Peter Wright. He stepped over the line again. Bryce Cook with the serve. With the swing. And Dan King with a nice little touch over. Pass nicely there by Nolan Kondrick. Out to Tanner Allison and straight down by Tanner. It's a very nice hit by Tanner. Timeout goes to Baldwin. The score is now 11-8 Panthers. All right, and a nice recovery there by Upper St. Clair. Touched over there by number 13. And a nice back row attack. And the point goes to Panthers. They just could not get to that one. Outside the antenna. Mike Arena again back with the serve. And straight down by number 13, Dante Parenti. He is now back with the serve. Nolan Kondrick with a nice pass back to Bryce Cook. And Bryce hits it just out of bounds. I think it got a bit on his fingertips there. Score is 12-10 Panthers. Nolan with a nice up. Out to Tanner Allison on the outside and into the net by Tanner. Point is awarded to Baldwin. Robbie Mackey with a nice pass back to Bryce Cook. And to Peter Wright there. Blocked back by the Panthers. And another hit by Peter Wright. Goes straight down on the Panther side. Robbie Mackey with a nice pass there to Dan King into the net. Score is now 13-12 Baldwin. Pass by Nolan, good set by Eric to Bryce with a nice little touch there by Baldwin, and a free ball is sent out of bounds to the Panther side. Point awarded to the Panthers. Nice pass there by Baldwin's libero. And straight down by Baldwin. Score is now 14-13. Baldwin back with the serve. Handled nicely by the Panthers, set to Dan King. It's a good attack there. Free ball sent over by Baldwin. Hopefully the Panthers can make something out of it. Nice dump there by Eric Lehman. He went to the deep corner, and he got himself a point for the Panthers. Tamazuki now subs back in to serve for Tanner Allison. Tame with a nice serve, but it just slightly went out of bounds there. Baldwin back to serve. Bryce Cook with the pass there to Nolan Kondrick. Through the block and went into the net. Point awarded to Upper St. Clair, and Robbie Mackey, the libero, is now back to serve. And it is a tip over by Baldwin to Mike Arena and Nolan Kondrick. That was a very nice rally going on there. Hopefully the Panthers can pull this one out. There goes Nolan Kondrick into the block and yet kept alive. And down there. Oh. And the point is awarded to Baldwin on a 4-touch call there on the Panthers. Baldwin now back with the serve. Robbie Mackey with the pass. And tipped straight down by number 11, Jeff Wallander. Score is now 17-15, Baldwin. Number 7, Peter Wright, is back to serve. And Nolan Kondrick with a nice attack there. Tipped over, and nice set by Tamazuki and Nolan Kondrick into the net. Timeout taken by the Panthers. All right, we are back from that timeout, and Peter Wright is again back to serve for Baldwin. Handled by Bryce Cook. That's Nolan Kondrick. And the Highlanders just could not put that one back over the net. Point Panthers. Eric Lehman back to serve. Nice pass there by Baldwin to the middle. Nice pass by Tamazuki to Mike Arena. And a free ball is sent over to the Panthers. Nolan Kondrick again with the swing, and Nolan Kondrick with the point. Score is now 17-18, Baldwin. Eric Lehman again back with the serve. Nice serve there by Eric. And Mike Arena with an overpass sent just out of bounds. Baldwin's libero now back to serve. Back to Nolan Kondrick, off the block and out of bounds. Point to the Upper St. Clair. Nolan Kondrick with the serve. Passed over back to Nolan Kondrick and slightly out of bounds. Point to the Highlanders. Score is now 20-18. Nice pass there by Tanner Allison, and straight down by Mike Arena with a very nice kill. That just could not be returned by the Highlanders. Mike Arena back to serve for the Panthers. Score is 19-20, Baldwin. All right, and good up there. And a very nice return there by the Panthers. Pushed straight back and up again by the Panthers. Very nice. And just could not return that one there. Score is now 21-19, Baldwin Highlanders. Number 13, Dante Parente, back to serve. And that was out of bounds, point Panthers. Bryce Cook back to serve. Back set there by Peter Wright. And straight down to the middle of the court for the Panthers, and we just could not return that one. Number 5 for Baldwin, that is Chris Collins, is back with the serve. Nice pass by Robbie Mackey to Dan King, just tipped over there. Back to Peter Wright. Nice pass by Rob Mackey to Bryce Cook in the back row. Overpass there. Out to Tanner Allison. To the outside. Up by Rob Mackey. Pushed by Nolan Kondrick. Back to Peter Wright. And just touched by Bryce Cook, sending it out of bounds. Point to Baldwin, scores now 23-20. Baldwin is also up 2 games to 1, therefore if they win this game, then they have won the entire match. Nice pass by Robbie Mackey, out to Tanner Allison, and blocked down by the Baldwin Highlanders. It is now match point for Baldwin. Nice pass there by Bryce Cook to Dan King. Out to Peter Wright, and he hit it outside of the antenna. Point goes to the Panthers. Tamazuki back to serve. Nice serve there by Tam. Back to Peter Wright, and inbound by Peter Wright. The game is now won by the Highlanders, 3 sets to 1. Thank you for listening, and have a great night.